2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by the legendary director Stanley Kubrick, is a science fiction film that changed the way most movies of this genre were made after its release in the spring of 1968. It stars Keir Dullea and Gary Lockwood as astronauts David Bowman and Frank Poole, respectively. It also stars Douglas Rain as the voice of Hal, an artificially intelligent computer that goes on a murderous rampage. The story is the result of a collaboration of British sci-fi author Arthur C. Clarke and Kubrick, and is based on The Sentinel, a short story Clarke published in 1951. Clarke also wrote a novel with the same title as the movie, but he wrote it in conjunction with the production of the film to better explain the film's plot. Because of the film's special effects, it took more than 2 years to shoot and edit. Keep in mind, this was long before the advent of computer graphics imaging. The story starts millions of years ago with a troop of apes who learn how to use tools thanks to a rectangular monolith that appears seemingly out of nowhere. Its presence agitates the apes at first, but they soon become accustomed to it. Afterwards, the monolith appears to transmit knowledge to the apes, allowing them to learn how to use femur bones as weapons, not only to hunt with, but also to defeat a rival troop of apes for control over a watering hole. The scene suddenly changes to the year 2001, where American scientists at a lunar base have discovered a monolith, identical to the one discovered by the apes, but buried in a crater. It emits a screeching radio signal toward Jupiter the first time sunlight strikes it. The action then jumps ahead yet again several months to a space mission where 5 astronauts on board a gargantuan spacecraft named Discovery are headed for Jupiter to determine why the lunar monolith transmitted its signal there. However, the astronauts don't know the true purpose of the mission, but Hal, the ship's computer, knows and also controls all aspects of the ship's functions. Eventually, Hal decides the astronauts are jeopardizing the mission and attempts to kill all of them. However, Dave Bowman, the only surviving astronaut, disconnects Hal, triggering a pre-recorded video explaining the purpose of the mission. The ship continues to Jupiter. Upon arrival, Dave sees a monolith floating in space. He approaches it in a small craft, and it's drawn into what appears to be a stellar gateway. After a harrowing 9.5 minutes of faster-than-light travel, he finds himself in a bedroom, appointed in French Renaissance decor. However, the camera shows he's now a middle-aged man. While in the room, he continues to age until he's sickly, old, and confined to a bed. A monolith then appears, and he transforms into a fetus bathed in a glowing ball of light. The camera enters the monolith, and we see Dave as a fetus floating in space and looking down on Earth, while Thus Spoke Zarathustra, a classical piece by Richard Strauss, thunders in the background. So what does this all mean? Well, I think the obvious place to start is the monolith. It's present at important places in the story. Just before the apes learn how to use tools, its discovery on the moon, at the arrival of Discovery at Jupiter, and in the room where Dave ages and transforms. This has led many to believe the monolith represents an alien intelligence guiding humanity toward higher and higher stages of evolution. One thing that's noticeably absent in 2001 is emotion. Astronaut Frank Poole doesn't react at all when he receives a transmission from his parents wishing him a happy birthday. The only time Dave shows emotion is when he's traveling through the Stargate. This is depicted in still shots that show him to be terrified. I find Hal's role in the movie puzzling. He's a machine, but is in charge of all aspects of the Discovery's functions. Why would the mission planners do that? Perhaps to show humanity's overdependence on technology? The deadpan personalities of the astronauts perhaps show emotions are pointless when technology controls so much. Some film critics believe the monolith is a movie screen. This suggests that the screen is doing to the viewers what the monolith did to the apes. The monolith forces the apes to be aware of their own abilities, just as the viewers must be aware of the movie. But I find this interpretation contrived, because the monolith serves as a gateway to another space-time. How can it be a movie screen if that's the case? Personally, I prefer the interpretation of aliens helping humans to evolve. This is the explanation given in the book, and it makes the most sense to me. Good night, and always remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks very much.